Hey everyone, for my project I tried to make a large purple plastic padlock, but it did not work out, and I will go over the techniques that I used and where I think I went wrong. For the positive of the mold, I used a piece of plywood. I got a picture off the internet of a vintage padlock and used contact cement to attach it, and then I took it over to the bandsaw and carved it out. I use this also to make other mold components like the block that form the void inside the padlock body. This is my vacuum forming machine. It uses a 6 horsepower vacuum, just a shop vac, and a couple of 250 watt heat lamps. It does real well with styrene and moderately well with thin PETG, but I tried it with ABS for this project as well and had very poor results. This is something I tried that I think worked out really well. This is progressive forming. I got tired of ripping plastic sheets on my table saw, so I got some 12 by 12 sheets, which are just not quite big enough to fit in the gantry well. So I just lay them on top of the bed, block some of it off, and then use the heat gun to chase around the details basically and let the vacuum pull it down piece by piece. I had pretty good luck with the PETG. It made a very strong, rigid, detailed mold. The styrene also worked out pretty well. The ABS was crap. It stank, it bubbled, it cracked. These are the components for the mold itself. This is a block that will form the space inside the padlock for the internal components. Again, I just attached a drawing to it and then cut it out on the bandsaw. Finished up the details with the angle grinder and tried to get as good a surface finish as possible so that the urethane resin, the sealer and the mold release would have a good surface to work with instead of a rough surface that the urethane could grab onto. And then once I finished up the details, I took it over to the back block and attached it with contact cement. And normally, this is where I went wrong. Normally I would have used wood glue and brads, but I didn't have short enough brads. This is the internal components of the lock. I tried to do it in the click spring style with files and hand tools, but I pretty much immediately went back to power tools for both reasons of time and frustration. I had broken up component that I had to braze back together. So after this, I basically just used the bandsaw and die grinder. This is my casting setup. I have the vacuum pump, a scale, the resin, and the mold components there. And the casting went moderately well. Here's my mold. The problem here, you can see it directly, the holes there where I was pouring the resin in are too small for the viscosity that I'm working with. So as you can see on the left, the mold is incompletely filled, and on the right, it did not spread evenly when poured. Spent too long in the vacuum chamber. So here is the second pour, which I did not degas. That went really, really well. As you can see, the back plate and the body are both in pretty good shape, but when I pulled it apart, the mold came apart. And at this point, I was out of resin and out of molds and out of time. Thanks for watching.